I think it's important for fighters to be clean, and I want to become an advocate for clean athletes from my experience in this situation. Devin Haney, that is egregious. That is an egregious statement. Takes absolutely brass balls to drop that after this decision, though. You know that Ryan Garcia got no benefit from the Austrian because every expert who knows anything about this told everybody it's trace amounts. He got no benefit. You could talk about Ryan coming in overweight, that he weight cheated you. You could talk about that. But acting like you lost as a result of Ryan's drug use is a lie, and you know it. You lost the fight. It doesn't mean you would lose next time. Ryan was a live wire all the way leading up to the fight. You were unfocused. Anyone would have been. But don't do this, dude. Don't act like you didn't lose that fight. Don't act like he cheated you, and don't act like you're actually undefeated, because you're not. Wow, so they suspended Ryan Garcia for a year. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable enough that I am coming up to my hotel room in Puerto Vallarta to record this video because I can't have this be a story that I don't put my comments on. That is crazy. You want to overturn the win? You know, whatever. We'll talk about it. We'll get into the details of exactly what just happened with the athletic board. But you suspended him for a year, given the circumstances? Unbelievable. Disgusting. And I'm going to hammer them for it. That is going to happen. And Ryan Garcia obviously went off on a tirade. I'm going to be honest with you. I just scrolled to see what he said. I haven't read any of it because I saw the breadth of his responses. I'm like, I just want to react to these one by one when I'm on camera. So we're going to do that. But I am going to just say the amount of tweets he's done since then, probably not handling it with the help of a PR firm. But nonetheless, he deserves to be angry, dude. He really does. There is an outlandish amount of suspicious, a lot of suspicious details around his test and around who was responsible for his test. And Devin Haney's little brother, saying that God told him that, I just think that Ryan's going to end up popping hot for steroids. And you're like, really? You do, huh? Oh, God told you? No offense to any organized religion, but I'm doubting that God told you that. I feel like maybe you overheard someone in your family talking about the test that you rigged, would be my guess. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of that stuff, and that's what we're going to do. And we also, look at this, man, we got to talk about this too, because Conor McGregor getting some backlash because he was out partying, apparently. So we're going to look at that, and apparently Michael Chandler potentially going to fight Max Holloway, and so we'll talk about that as well. We got a jam-packed video. Normally I would put those in separate videos, but since I'm on vacation, I'm giving it to you guys all at once. By the way, tonight, Who's Number One is on Flow Grappling, and Victor Hugo, my professor teammate, is fighting, and so is Gordon Ryan, so you guys should definitely check that out. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I love you guys very much. I got to show you a sponsorship real quick, but this is a really solid sponsor that you can use to buy tickets to the Craig Jones Invitational, where I will be August 16th and 17th.
I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Game Time. Game Time is a ticket marketplace that makes it faster and easier for you to get into your favorite events at a moment's notice. I go to a lot of UFC events, and if I'm going last minute, I use Game Time. Game Time provides the premier marketplace for last minute tickets to the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the US and Canada, eliminating the need for printing and building a better way to access the best live experiences right from your phone. While I know everybody loves robotic ad reads, I'm going to just show you myself using this product, GameTime.co, to look at tickets for UFC 298. Look at this. Look at how easy this is. You're like, bam, here is the entire stadium. Here are the ticket prices. You can see exactly where they are. Why would you pay $761 to sit right here when you can pay $743 and be in the third row? And bam, it gives you a look at exactly what your view is going to be. You're going to be down here in the third row over there. Now, why I really like Game Time is you have great prices. I compare. They always have the lowest. You get to see the view from your seats, which is awesome, and you can buy with 2 clicks. Now, when I steer you guys wrong on tickets, go ahead and download the Game Time app, create an account, and then use the code JesseOnFire with your first purchase to save $20, and you will be a happy camper.
All right, so let's start with the Conor McGregor story, and I just put my sunglasses on. I don't know. I was just going to pretend like I didn't have them on and see if I can make a joke out of it, but right now I'm too worked up to do a thing like that. So let's start with Conor McGregor, and we'll talk about these new pictures, and then the Michael Chandler thing. We'll talk about Ryan Garcia.
Conor.
Oh, and by the way, Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I am grinding here. I'm in Mexico, dude, and I'm running up to my hotel room to do videos for you guys. That's the kind of dedication I would want to subscribe to. I'm just kidding, but like the video if you guys don't mind. That really is helpful, and subscribe if you like.
McGregor is facing some backlash today after he was seen out partying last night, not even a week after pulling out of UFC 303. Earlier this week, Chael Sonnen claimed that Conor pulled out because he's in rehab for substance abuse.
What incredible irony that both sides have these massive interests in alcohol, and one side is in the middle of rehab for substance abuse, including alcohol. Not that that has anything to do with this. What were you saying, Daniel?
A representative for Conor denied Chael's claims. Karen Kessler told TMZ the fight was canceled after an injury he sustained during training. He's looking forward to a new date. Conor posted a series of photos of him drinking last night to his Instagram, and he got roasted in his comment section. To read off the top comments: either faked an injury or couldn't pass the drug test. Bro pulled out to get a hair transplant. Bro pulled out so he could start drinking again. Bro really faked an injury. Poor Chandler button. Bro called the fight off so he can continue to drink. Conor is also facing backlash on X over these new photos. This is one of the top posts going around. It says Conor McGregor last night. The top replies: the worst possible thing for an alcoholic is to be rich enough to create and own your own alcohol company, and that's exactly what Conor's problem is. He can't get away from drinking because he needs to promote his product. The drinking problem surely has impacted his...
Okay, first of all, man, I have a lot to say about this, okay? A lot. I actually had not watched that. I was just getting prepared for the Ryan Garcia segment when I saw this, and I'm like, okay, I'll do both. So I have to talk about what Chael said, since I actually have not commented on that yet, and then how it relates to this post. But one thing I just want to start off with is this tweet, okay? So the worst possible thing for an alcoholic is to be rich enough to create and own your own alcohol company. That's exactly what Conor's problem is. Okay, so the first part of that is, I mean, probably true, you know. The worst thing, if you're an alcoholic and you're super rich and you create an alcohol company, yeah, probably not ideal. Probably wouldn't be ideal for me to create a Percocet company, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, are there anything you can't do recreationally, Jesse on Fire? Yeah, I can't touch oxys. I like them too much. So those are out of my life. So we got a business idea for you. It would be a manufacturer and distributor of Percocet. Be like, that's a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea for a million reasons. But the thing that I don't love about this particular post is you don't know for sure that Conor's an alcoholic, okay? It's speculation, right? Conor has never come out and said that he's an alcoholic. Now, do I think that he probably has some kind of substance abuse issue? Most likely. I'm basing that more on that interview that he did for Roadhouse, though. That was like, wow, a guy who can get himself to that state clearly needs a checkup. But this is just talking like factually, you know, like Conor is an alcoholic. It's like, maybe. But anyway, he can't get away from the drinking because he needs to promote his product. The drinking problem surely has impacted his MMA career somehow. Okay, I will say this, though. Anybody who is an alcoholic, it's a curse because you can't get away from alcohol. Everybody drinks. Everyone fucking drinks, dude. And so when alcoholics are trying to stay clean, they go to the store. They're like, oh, I need some Pringles. You know, I need some milk. And it's like, oh, it's over in aisle 6. And you just walk by this bright, glowing advertisement for all the best booze, and you're like, ooh, man, I wish I could drink, but I can't. Like, I am, as much as I think of any kind of predisposition to addiction as a kind of curse that a lot of people have, and I certainly consider myself cursed as it relates to opioids, it would be awesome if I could just take them every once in a while, but I can't. I can't even imagine what it would be like if every time I went to the store, there was an entire aisle dedicated to all the designer opioid pills in the world. Like, that'd be pretty hard to deal with, I would imagine. But I you know, maybe owning it is a problem for him. I don't know. But as it relates to this entire topic, so Chael said that Conor was in rehab. That's obviously not the case now. Doesn't mean that he didn't start, though. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean he didn't start treatment. But it's also possible that he was in treatment and he saw people talking about it and he couldn't handle couldn't handle that conversation. So that's why he's, taking pictures of himself out with drinking and then putting them on Instagram. He's like, who's got a problem? Who's got a problem? You have to be willing to be vulnerable to acknowledge that you have a problem, because what is the problem? Like, you have a drinking problem? It's like, yeah. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? It means I can't control myself and I will drink when I know I shouldn't. You know, I shouldn't drink and I can't help it because I have a drinking problem or drugs, you know. I can't do this because it's out of my control once I start. That's a weakness, obviously. Okay, I consider it a weakness that I have for, you know, that particular category. And so you have to be willing to acknowledge a weakness that you have in order to address the problem. And if someone's never done that before, maybe that would, you know, you hear people talking about it and you're like, fuck that, dude. Look at this, dog. I'm drinking. Who's got a problem? Who's got a fucking problem? So, I mean, maybe that's possible. Or it's possible that he actually is injured, and the speculation about his, you know, substance abuse being the core reason why they canceled the event is not true. But I will say this for sure. Hunter knows what's going on. Dana knows what's going on. And the thing that Chael said with DC, I had heard that, obviously. And Chael is not the only person that I heard say that either. I won't get into specifics. But that's not the only person who had said that. Whether it's true or not, I cannot verify. I don't know anyone on Conor's team. I don't know anyone close enough that I would be like, this is what's going on for sure. But that story had been going around, and from people who are credible saying that they heard from credible sources. So, you know, maybe. But also, you got to think about it like this. Dana and Hunter went to Ireland, or at least Hunter did. Dana knows what's going on with Conor for sure. What's really going on with Conor. If they called this fight off so that Conor could get clean and then come back to train, it would be so wildly unprofessional and disrespectful to Dana and the organization if he was taking pictures and posting them of him out drinking, that it makes me think that makes it less likely that that's what's going on. But that is with me giving Conor a lot of a lot of assumed credit when it comes to professionalism, you know. Now, that's just me observing his career, that when it comes to him being in bout agreements and never having pulled out and all that stuff, like he had always been a consummate professional. Dana has always said that he's a consummate professional. And so my assumption, if you assume that he is that he would not take pictures of himself out partying if that was really the reason that he, you know, pulled out of this fight. So that's really all I have to say about that. Let's see if anybody else said anything, and then we'll move over to Ryan Garcia.
His MMA career somehow. He's never coming back, is he? That doesn't look like Rehab. Bro is never coming back. And best Rehab ever. What do you guys think? You think Conor will ever return to combat sports?
I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Anybody who feels confident saying that he will, I would love to hear their rationale for that, you know. But again, so as an example, if I spoke to Chandler tomorrow and he was like, no, I'm going to wait him out. And I'm like, all right, like, do you feel confident he's going to come back? Yes. And it's like, what are you basing that on? He's like, I had this conversation with Hunter, I had this conversation with Conor or whatever. I'm not going to think my opinion supersedes his. Obviously, he has more information than I do. But as just a regular person, you know, as much as I can call around to some people to try to hear about, like, what's the scuttlebutt, you know, that's the fucking stupidest word ever. But, like, what are the rumors? I can call around and talk to some people who know some people. I mean, I don't have any insight into a thing like that. Is Conor really going to come back or whatever? If you don't know Conor personally, I can't imagine how you would have any really strong, like, basis for an opinion one way or the other. But anyway, that's that story. Let's move over to another guy who likes to party prior to his events. And what? Hey, it sounds like you've been drinking a little bit, Jesse on fire. So let's start right here and let's just look at this article about Ryan Garcia getting suspended. So last night he announced his retirement, right? So this was 5:48 yesterday. I'm officially retired. And he's actually, I haven't even read these yet either. I had seen that he said he was retired, and I didn't even look at it last night because I just thought he was just talking. I had no idea that it was on the other side of a year-long suspension. So let's actually look at the details reported by ESPN about his suspension, and then we're going to look through Ryan Garcia's reaction to it and then discuss. So, and again, I am going to talk about some specific, very suspicious stuff around here that you're not going to hear on ESPN, okay? I recommended a documentary in a video that I did a couple weeks, I don't know, maybe last week, and I can't remember the name of it, but I will link it in the description if I remember. A lot of people have seen it, but it's about Devin Haney, his history of being a weight cheat, they said, where he overhydrates, but also, and this is the big one, his long-term association with Victor Conti, who's on his team and has been on his team for years, who is the founder of Balco. If you don't know what Balco is, Google it. And then Google Balco and Victor Conti, and then take this next part for granted. He's on Devin Haney's team, and he founded VADA, the one that popped Ryan Garcia. Not to mention, the first test that Ryan Garcia took said that he was positive for nandrolone. And then they're like, oh, never mind. That was an accident. That was an accident. And you're like, that was an accident. It's like, oh, yeah, there was an accident. It's like, and everybody's just taking for granted that there's nothing fishy going on just because the Osterine was in his B sample. Anyway, so we'll talk about all of that stuff. All right, so Ryan Garcia has been suspended for 1 year by the New York State Athletic Commission, while his decision victory over Devin Haney has been overturned to a no contest following positive tests for the PED Osterine. I wonder if the casinos are going to come after him for that dough. I bet they are, dude. And listen, I just want to say this outright. I don't give a shit if they overturn it to whatever. Everybody knows who won that fucking fight. Okay? They could put it on paper. They could say whatever. Hey, did John Jones lose to Matt Hamill, you guys? Did Matt Hamill beat John Jones by, getting his skull fractured by John Jones's 12-6 elbows to a ground opponent? Okay, no. John Jones won that fight. Everybody knows it. And guess what? No contest. It does not matter. Ryan Garcia won that fight. Everybody knows it. Was not close. He whipped that motherfucking ass. So it doesn't matter what's on paper, because what actually matters is what everybody knows, and everyone knows who won that fucking fight. Anyway, so, okay, Garcia also forfeited $1 million to Golden Boy and was fined $10,000 by the commission. Haney, okay, so let me tell you what, again, I don't need to tell you nothing. This is why I sound like that, is because I don't like how the Haneys sound, I just don't like how they sound about this at all. I think it's super shady that Victor Conti's on their team, and the way they're talking is like misplaced, Like, I don't have any issue with Devin Haney. I certainly don't have any issue with his dad or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, as an outside observer, there's nothing to gloat about here, dude. Okay? We're talking about trace amounts. Best case scenario for you is a tainted supplement. Okay? He got no benefit from it, and everyone knows it. He just won. Now, I'm sorry. So I want to thank the commission and the fans who stood by me through this whole process. Haney, who is once again undefeated. No, you're not. The facts are the facts, and I wasn't on an even playing field. Yes, you weren't on an even playing field because he missed weight, not because of the Osterine. Happy I was able to receive justice for what happened. It's all part of my story, and it's only going to make me better. I look to enjoy this time with my family and friends and see what comes next. I'm a clean athlete, and boxing is a brutal sport where one fight can literally change your life. I think it's important for fighters to be clean, and I want to become an advocate for clean athletes from my experience in this situation. Wow, dude. That takes balls. That's your comment. You're just going to straight up ignore the fact that anyone with a brain and has listened to any of the experts knows that he got no benefit whatsoever from the Osterine, that at best case scenario, it's a tainted supplement, if not a spiked sample. You got the shadiest dude on earth on your team. Your little brother went on the internet and said, oh, I don't know, God told me that Ryan Garcia was going to piss hot. And you're going to come out, then that's your statement? You're going to act like you got cheated out of that win? And then I'm a clean athlete and boxing is a brutal sport. I'm undefeated. I'm going to, become an advocate for clean athletes from my experience in this situation. Dude, you lost. Okay? Now, I've been the first person to acknowledge that there probably is a large portion of that loss that you could attribute to the fact that Ryan Garcia's behavior going into the fight had Devin Haney totally unfocused. Okay? I'm not saying that Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney if they fight again. That's my problem. Is like, I'm not a person you will never, ever, ever see me throw a loss to another man in their face as if I'm taking credit for it. I hate when people do that, dude. Okay? Devin Haney loses 10 more times. He didn't lose to me. Okay? So you're never going to hear me go like, hey, what about when you got knocked out, Devin Haney? Okay, well, I didn't fight that fucking guy. I didn't fight the dude that knocked him out. What do you think would happen if I fought him? I get knocked out. And I didn't knock Devin Haney out, so it's not my victory to gloat about. But what I can say is from a principled perspective of a person who understands combat sports, I could say objectively, what you should be saying is, let's run it back. Let's run it back and have us both make weight, okay? Even playing field, and no tainted supplements. No Austrian whatever. That's the only correct answer. Don't pretend like you got cheated because you didn't. Okay? Now, again, they were even, like through the amateurs, they were 3-3. Now, Ryan won the next fight. Again, under weird circumstances that Devin Haney came in unfocused. That does not mean that Ryan Garcia for sure would win again. But this whole act, this is stupid. This is stupid. And it's not going to break in your favor. I'm telling you, this is not a good way to do this. Just start saying that you want to fight him. Okay? You want to fight him clean, on weight. All right, so I'm out of time, but I got to go through some of these tweets from Ryan Garcia because I think that they're important to look at and then comment on. So this was apparent. This was at 5:10 yesterday, and it sounds like the decision he found out about a half an hour after this. So he says, "Mom has cancer. I'm being sued. My supplements were tainted. Going through a divorce. Always getting shit talked on the internet for years. You bring that on yourself, though. Let's be honest. Devin asking for my victory to be taken away. I'm getting hit with everything. I still love God. He is everything." Okay. So that was, and then right after that, again, keep in mind, he's going to find out that, within the next 20 minutes. Y'all judge me on the things I say. For example, Caleb Plant situation. He talked about me when Jay never talked about him. I'm going through a really hard time in my life. I'm human. I'm not God. I will make mistakes. I've really only tried to put money in everybody's pockets. Live everyone, make everyone laugh. Okay. Boxing will be all right without me. I may retire. I'm done with this game. Okay. It sounds like that's where he found out. I'm outie. Y'all may catch me out, but acting, singing. Okay. So what do we? Here we go. Right here. They took. Oh, wow, maybe he did just find out today, because this is only 2 hours ago. They took my victory away. Wow. Okay, he said, okay, I'm retired. I'll come back in a year. Okay, so that's where, so he just found out. I was already retired, so I'll just come back out of retirement for a year, or in a year. Nothing that was in my system was enough for any. This is why I'm done with the game. I never fucking cheated. Fuck you. I believe him, dude. I do. I'm hitting the switch again. Take my victory away and add that on the list of shit I'm already going through. I'm ready for business. Get ready. I already don't give a fuck. Run when you see me. Yep. He's like, this is exactly what Ryan Garcia should be doing. Taunting Devin Haney. You're suspended. You can't fight. Okay. That's, that's not, oh, wow. Headed to UFC. Let's go. This could end up being the best thing ever. Dude, listen, the kid is a freak athlete who moves very well. You think that if you give that kid a year of training exclusively on takedown defense, kicks, defending turn it into Muay Thai. Look at Caleb Plant, kickboxing. If you think Ryan Garcia could not be a nasty-ass kickboxer inside of a year, you're fucking crazy. Crazy. Teach him that takedown defense. He'll get nasty. Look at Izzy. Look at Alex Pereira. Okay. Want my 50 G's? For real, Dana, hit me up. So Clarissa Shields, sit your ass down, Ryan. Congrats, real Devin Haney. He's suspended a year, rightfully so. Shut the fuck up. Whatever, keep eating cock. This is Ryan Garcia. Whatever, keep eating cock and pussy at the same time. You're dirty, girl. Clarissa, I have a husband, just kidding ass. You suck and stinky. Okay, whatever. But I don't know what her issue is with Ryan Garcia, but whatever. I got no issue with Clarissa Shields. I just don't agree with her on this at all. And I really don't agree that I'm very curious what would have happened had he, not All right, so this is the last thing. Okay, one last thing, and then I'll close this out. All right. So he said, from my team to yours. Statement from Ryan Garcia's team following the 1-year suspension. Okay, Ryan Garcia was the victim of substance contamination with levels measured in the billions and trillions of a gram, which provided no advantage whatsoever in the ring. That's what I heard too. From More Plates, More Dates. I trust him. Ryan, with his legal team, has resolved this issue and firmly maintains his truth. He never intentionally took any banned substances. It's simply not in his nature. For many years, Ryan has voluntarily submitted to random testing, even out, fans, yada, yada. Remember his performance against Haney as a masterclass. That's a fact. Everybody will always remember, and no one's going to think that this doesn't change anything. Ryan will continue to elevate the sport. Like to thank the fans. Okay, so it's just a whatever statement. Okay, so this is how I want to close this out. I want to ask you guys what you think about this, and I want you to tell me in the comments. Okay, if Ryan Garcia had acted like a consummate professional all the way through the build-up and then all the time afterwards, no drinking, no games, no crazy act, none of that stuff, do you think he would still be facing a year-long suspension right now? I don't. I think they would have probably overturned it to a no contest just because it's in his system, like maybe no contest, but that doesn't really matter, right? I think that he got the year-long suspension because he's been acting so crazy, and they're like, you have to be able to, listen, dude, it's a give and take. His crazy act has made him one of the biggest stars in the world. So there's a lot of benefit to it. But you just have to decide how you want to play the game, and then you're going to deal with the consequences. That's the bottom line, And I'll reiterate, Victor Hugo is fighting on who's number 1 tonight. So is Felipe Acosta, both guys from Six Blades. And Victor's going to be fighting at the Craig Jones Invitational. I'll be there. And on my team, Six Blades, the Six Blades team, dude, these guys will never play those games. They will not do it, no matter what. It doesn't matter how much money you offered Victor or any of the athletes on Shunji's team. They're never going to do a public crazy act. They're not going to do any wild stuff. They won't do it. It does not matter how much money there is in it for them. In my opinion, there's not a right or wrong answer. It's just the way that people want to carry it, right? That's how Victor's going to carry it throughout his entire career. I think he's going to win Craig Jones Invitational, and then when Gordon wins ADCC, it's going to set up one of the biggest jiu-jitsu matches of all time, and I think Victor is going to upset Gordon Ryan. That is my prediction for Victor Hugo's future, and that's when he'll blow up because he's going to take the respect from Gordon Ryan. He's not taking the shortcut, but as a professional combat athlete, a lot of guys do the thing that Ryan did, and guess what happens? In the event that you have a tainted supplement and you pop hot for, a minuscule amount, they end up suspending you for a year. I don't think this would have happened if Ryan would have been, calmer. But anyway, that's what I got for today. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. I love you guys. Bye.